When it comes to Me Too, the sexual misconduct allegations against comedian Aziz Ansari are about as hazy as it gets. There wasn't a rape. There wasn't a hard no from the woman who accused him of aggressive sexual behavior. But according to reports, there also wasn't consent exactly. Blame wasn't easily placed.
She had a terrible night of sex. She had a bad hookup.
If you just had an unpleasant sexual experience, you should have gone home.
But no one's really asking, why didn't he stop?
That was Barry Weiss of the New York Times, Ashley Banfield of CNN, and Emma Gray of HuffPost Women. This is Deborah Hauser.
My guess is they both could have really used some good quality sex education.
Hauser is president of Advocates for Youth, the D.C.-based nonprofit behind San Diego Unified's new sex education curriculum. She weighed in on the Aziz Ansari story via Skype.
The abstinence-only curricula will literally say, many of them, boys are like microwaves. They heat up quickly. Girls are more like crock pots. So girls have the responsibility to slow boys down, right? This idea that, boys will be boys. So yeah, of course he's going to keep trying. And of course he's not going to hear her cues.
The curriculum San Diego Unified adopted last year challenges those ideas about gender and, according to Hauser, lays the groundwork beginning at age 5 for healthy sexual relationships in adulthood.
Starting kindergarten or first grade or second grade, and you're beginning to lay down the concepts, but they aren't really related to sex or sexuality at that age. It's more about how to be a good friend, or what are the characteristics that make someone a good friend. Or even when you're thinking about consent, this idea that you just don't steal a pencil. You would ask for it. You're asking for consent to borrow someone's pencil.
That focus on communication continues in the later years.
When I started my career 35 years ago, a lot of the sex ed curriculum was really around what people would call plumbing. It was really about your reproductive parts and what does reproduction mean? And that's still in the curriculum, but so much of what helps young people to use those skills and that knowledge is really related to other sort of social and emotional skills around communication, around self-image, around body image, around understanding what a healthy relationship looks like and what an unhealthy relationship looks like.
It also talks about different sexual orientations as required under San Diego Assemblywoman Shirley Weber's 2015 California Healthy Youth Act. That law also requires parents who don't agree with the curriculum to opt their children out of sex ed, as opposed to the old opt-in model. Some have, in fact, opted their kids out because the Advocates for Youth curriculum is different from lessons passed in another key way. It doesn't hold back. Here are some of the videos associated with the lessons.
During puberty, your body starts to produce more sex hormones. One of the results is more interest and curiosity about sexuality. Sometimes when you are on the internet, you might accidentally or intentionally end up on a website that features pornography.
San Diego Unified retired that last video after a tense school board meeting in July. Judy Neufeld Fernandez was one in a long line of speakers both for and against the curriculum.
The stated intent sounds so good to develop healthy attitudes about sexuality. In reality, AFY is putting students in harm's way by promoting porn as normal and exposing kids to graphic content not suited for their stage of development.
I will put anything in these books if it's in the best interest of the child.
Roby Harris penned the go-to book for anxious parents of prepubescent kids, It's Perfectly Normal. She defends the breadth of today's sex ed. Her own book includes a section on the internet and no-holds-barred illustrations by Michael Emberley of the human body and human behaviors, including, yes, masturbation.
I feel that kids deserve and have the right to have the latest, most honest, up-to-date information about their bodies.
Both Harris and Hauser say today's sex ed aims to give kids a broad vocabulary that's free of taboo so that tomorrow's adults can talk openly about what they want and don't want instead of testing boundaries or playing gatekeeper. Harris says her next edition of It's Perfectly Normal will include a new word in the wake of Me Too, harassment. It's due out next year. Megan Burks, KPBS News.